Hey, what is up you guys? My name is Catherine and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a in-depth review of the new Too Faced Born This Way Super Coverage Concealer. So I'm actually going to be doing 3 wear tests of this concealer. So before we get started, if you're not already, if you could go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, let's get started. So this concealer retails for $29 and you get half an ounce of product. For comparison, Tarte Shape Tape is $27 and you get 0.33 ounces of product. Most of my other concealers are drugstore. My ColourPop No Filter concealer is 0.17 ounces and it's $6. And my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer is 0.11 ounces for $7. So if you do the math, the same amount of Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer that is in the Too Faced Born This Way Super Coverage Concealer would actually cost a little bit more than this concealer. It would come out to about $35 or $32. So you actually are getting such a good deal out of this concealer if the formula works for you. So I'm just going to go ahead and read the claims and the description on Too Faced's website because we're going to be comparing and seeing if this actually stacks up to its claims. Conceal, contour, highlight, and retouch with this super perfecting natural finish concealer makeup hybrid, the ultimate multi-use formula for a modern and hydrated photo-ready complexion. Fully loaded pigments provide maximum coverage with an undetectable finish for a look so flawless they'll think you were born this way. Details: oil-free, non-comedogenic formula can be used to conceal, contour, highlight, and retouch. Weightless and hydrating so skin is never dry or cakey, long wearing for 12 hours, and photo friendly, no flashback. On the box that this comes in, it says that this has coconut water, alpine rose, and hyaluronic acid in it. So it sounds like the purpose of this concealer is to be very full coverage but very hydrating. So I picked up the shade Snow. I'm going to pop some swatches of this up on the screen next to some of my other concealers. That way if you do happen to be a similar shade range to me, you can kind of get an idea for what might work for you. So this is the Too Faced Born This Way Concealer in Snow, Tarte Shape Tape in Light, ColourPop No Filter in Light 14, Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer in C4, LA Girl Pro Coverage Concealer in Porcelain, ColourPop No Filter in Light 12, and Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer in 05 Light Natural. So just in comparison, this is Tarte Shape Tape's applicator and this is the Too Faced Born This Way. Obviously the Too Faced Born This Way is a little bit smaller, but it's still thicker than your average concealer wand. So I believe I've gone over everything that I want to go over in the introduction, so I'm just going to jump into the wear test. I did 2 12-hour wear tests and then 1 7-ish, 8-ish hour wear test. Let's get started with the wear tests.
It is my favorite hour of 8 o'clock in the morning. We have a special guest joining us today. Probably the biggest zit that I've had in all of 2018. It's all I could ever hope for, to have a big zit when I'm doing a foundation or concealer review, because it really gives us something to actually cover. I'm putting a little bit of my e.l.f. color correcting primer over these zits. Since we're really doing the thing and doing an actual 12-hour wear test, I'm mixing my ColourPop No Filter with just a pump of my Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation. I'm just putting a little bit more on my little pimple friend. I'm going to be setting my under eye with my RCMA No Color Powder. Alright, so this is the concealer without any other makeup on, just the setting powder. So I'm gonna finish up the rest of my makeup and then check in before I go on with my day. It is 8:30 right now. By the time I get home, it'll probably be 9 p.m. or later, so it is a long work day. So this is like a true wear test. I'm probably gonna be like running around. It's not crazy hot today, but we will see. That is it. I'm gonna go get on with my day and I will see you lovely people later. Okay, so I have now had this on for 12 hours. Under my eye, I have a lot of concealer clumped into that one really deep line I have under my eye, and I feel like all of the fine lines under my eyes are very emphasized. My mascara really ran into my under eye today for some reason, and I didn't want to wipe it off because there's no way to really do that without messing up the concealer. However, on my pimple, this held up pretty well. I mean, color-wise, you can't see a whole lot of redness. This is from my sunglasses, please ignore that. But yeah, the pimple looks good. The RCMA No Color Powder is not the most finely milled powder. I chose that powder because a lot of my other translucent powders have a tendency to oxidize. I don't know if it's oxidized, but they make my concealers turn to a darker shade and it doesn't look great, especially under the eye, and I didn't want like that appearance to affect my initial thoughts on the concealer, and I think that might have backfired. So I'm not writing this concealer off right away because I do love how it looked when it was initially applied, and I don't think it's good to write off a concealer or a foundation based off of one round of testing with using only like one variant of product with it. So I'm going to do another 12-hour wear test tomorrow using different products to see how it holds up again, and we will see if this really holds up to its 12-hour claim. Alright, so I'm using my Makeup Revolution Fast Base today. I just want to point out that this little pimple thing I've got going on here is already like very dry and patchy, and my foundation is hella clinging to it, so we're just ignoring that as part of the concealer test today because it's not going to be cute. I'm adding a little bit more of this concealer right into this part of the eye because it still looks very purpley to me. So to set, I'm using my e.l.f. HD Loose Setting Powder. I'm putting it on the flat end of a Morphe contouring sponge. So this is what the concealer is looking like before I put on any other makeup. This is how we're looking, completely set down, setting spray, everything. I have this little mascara crusty. So yeah, I'm liking how this is looking today, and I'm hoping that this is a successful wear test. Alright, so I have had the Born This Way concealer under my eyes for 10 hours now, so this isn't as long as yesterday's wear test, but it's still a decent wear test. Sorry, I have like a mouse problem and I'm freaking out anytime I hear a noise. So I think one thing that's consistent with this concealer is it starts to noticeably crease around the 5-hour mark. I took some pictures, so I'll pop them up on the screen. So it's like very creased under my eyes right here. This doesn't look bad until you're like 6 inches away from the mirror. Like 8 inches away, or like how I'm sitting looking at my mirror right now, which is like right in front of the camera, it looks good. So I definitely don't support the claims that this is a 12-hour concealer. I've tried this with 2 different powders now, and neither time has it incredibly held up for a long period of time. So I don't support those claims. However, I don't think this is a bad concealer. I'm going to really collect my thoughts on this concealer and give them to you guys. So I will see you lovely people again tomorrow.
Alrighty, so my final test of the Too Faced Born This Way concealer is going to be how this concealer performs without foundation. So I'm just taking this foundation and I'm I'm taking the concealer, we're not doing foundation today. And I'm dotting it under my eye like that. And then we're also going to be using it as an eyeshadow primer today. I'm blending this with my BH Cosmetics Vegan 12 face brush. I probably should have done a little less. Wow. I didn't realize how much this was blending out when I was doing it with foundation. Like, this has basically covered my face. You can see the coverage under my eyes. I still have a lot of purple shining through right here. So I'm adding just like a teeny bit more, and I'm gonna try to blend it in place more than like blending it out, if that makes sense. So that's with 2 coats of concealer under my eye. So I'm setting this with the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in Fair and my Morphe contouring sponge. Please suggest to me a cruelty-free dupe of it, because this is the only powder that actually like brightens my under eye. I'm doing a little spritz of my Heritage Rose Water as well to add a little bit of extra hydration in there. So this is what my under eye is looking like at the moment. So I'm gonna finish up the rest of my makeup and I'll be back for the flash test and for the natural lighting. Okay, so I am all done. This is a close-up on my under eye again, now that I've set my face with setting spray and everything. I honestly think that this looks really nice. I don't know about y'all. I'm just gonna do the flash test and then show you guys this in natural lighting. Okay, so it doesn't really look like there's flashback. This actually looks really nice on camera. My under eye looks smooth. And let me go bring you to the bathroom to show you what this looks like in natural light. Alright, so we are here in natural light. You can see again how this is looking. I'm just gonna go walk around, take some pictures, see how this holds up, and we'll be back. Alright you guys, I have now had this concealer on for about 8 hours. I'm really feeling it, and I feel like as a concealer to wear with no foundation, this actually works really well. I would say use less than I used at the start of this video, because like you saw, it like just blended almost completely across my face. So here's an up close look. It's still settled into that deep line under my eyes just a little bit, and I did get that mascara transfer again. I just stupidly realized that I used the same mascara every single time I have tested this concealer, so I don't know if it would still get that transfer if I used a different mascara with it. Normally I would just wipe that off, but I didn't want that to really affect the wear of how this concealer looks. Other than that, I feel like my under eye looks pretty good. Normally concealers at that 7-8 hour mark are gonna look pretty cakey, creasy on me no matter how good of a concealer it is. You can see that on my nose where I had sort of blended it over, it has broken down from the oils on my nose. It's very humid here, but under my eye and everywhere else it's held up really well, and I think that if I just set my nose that wouldn't be an issue. So you guys can see how this held up on your own, and you can make your own decisions on that as well. I don't need to sit here and tell you, because you can see it and decide for yourself. But I am going to go over my final thoughts on this concealer, and if I think it's worth the hype, if I think it's worth the money. So I don't support the claim that this is a 12-hour wear concealer. I don't know if maybe like if you really were using like a long wear primer and a long wear setting spray like Urban Decay All Nighter, maybe you would get that 12 hours of wear with it looking nice. But I think that if it's going to claim that it is a 12-hour wear concealer, that you should be getting that 12 hours of nice wear out of it without using any other intense long wear products. I don't know, that's just my opinion on that. It obviously still stayed on after 12 hours and it didn't look as horrible as I would expect after 12 hours, but it didn't get 12 hours of nice wear. I would say 9-10 hours is when it like really is like okay, like your face is very makeupy and cakey looking right now. I feel that I've worn this and played with it enough to give a good solid opinion, but I'm going to continue to play with it to find the best combination for getting it to last and last well on my skin. As far as an eyeshadow primer, because I know a lot of people like to use their concealers eyeshadow primer, I found that the 3 times that I used this as eyeshadow primer, my eyeshadow held up how I expected compared to my previous experiences with the eyeshadows that I was using. As far as being super coverage, I don't know that I would call this concealer super coverage, because if you may have noticed in every single wear test that I did, I put it on my under eye and then I added just a little bit more to build up that coverage, and I feel that if it's a super coverage concealer, you should be getting that nice under eye coverage with just one layer of concealer. And I don't know, everyone puts their concealer on differently. I've been trying to use it more sparingly because I find that it helps with creasing and cakiness on the under eye. Maybe if you're someone that likes to straight up draw the triangle on your under eye and fill it in with concealer before you blend it out, then yeah, you're gonna get that super coverage on the first round. However, I found that when I did like 3 decent sized dots, it like really didn't cover up my darkness on my under eye. As far as not looking cakey, I definitely think that this has more of a radiant finish than say my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer and my Tarte Shape Tape. I really like the finish of this. The only issue that I have with the finish so far is that it actually gives me that little bit of mascara transfer, but I think my under eyes have looked really great every time I have applied this, and so far I'm impressed with the formula. As someone with dry skin, it is harder to find a concealer that really looks nice on the under eye since so many of them tend to be matte. So my truly final thoughts. You are getting such a good amount of product in here for the price. It's half an ounce, and I mean, with how spreadable this product is, even if I'm having to build up on my under eye a little bit each time to get that coverage that I really want on my under eye, I still think that this is going to last me forever. And what it really comes down to for me is do I like the formula of this better than the formula of my drugstore products that actually cost more per ounce. In terms of my ColourPop No Filter concealer, I'm not sure. I think the ColourPop No Filter might still be my favorite concealer. However, there is the convenience factor of I can go to Sephora and buy 1 bottle of this that's going to last me forever versus having to go online and get a teeny tube that you run out of very quickly. I go through these so quickly, and the fact that I have to order them online every time does get a little bit frustrating. I really think I like the formula of this a lot better than my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. I think it definitely has higher coverage and just works better generally on my skin. So do I think that this is worth it? Yes. Sephora and Ulta both do accept returns if you don't like the product. So if you're thinking on getting this, I would definitely say go for it. I'm pretty impressed with it. Do I think it's the greatest concealer of all time? Maybe, maybe not. I think I need to use a product for months before I can decide if I really love it. On that level, am I impressed with it based off of all the times I've played with it in the past week and a half? I'm definitely impressed. I think they did a good job. I think it's awesome that you get so much product for the price. I think the shade range is great, and yeah, I think I have hit all my bases. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that it was a bit of a longer one. I really wanted to be in depth with this as opposed to doing a first impressions. I'm sorry if I seemed off in this video. I have been so tired the past week and a half. I have been working like crazy. Like my eyes are watering right now. It's insane. Again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. A giveaway coming soon. And hopefully I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!